Hi, so welcome to another reading vlog. It is Monday morning, also the last day of September, which means it's the last day to finish off my reading goals for September, as well as finishing off the Tome Infinity Readathon. I'm actually going to be focusing on the Tome Infinity Readathon because I think I've just accepted that I'm not going to finish all my other September books. I don't like accepting that, but sometimes you have to be realistic, I guess. Not a fan. Anyway, to finish off the Tome Infinity Readathon, I need to read 4 more books. Firstly, for Antarctica, I'm listening to the audiobook of At the Mountains of Madness by H.P. Lovecraft. I'm about halfway through. It's only a 4-hour audiobook. This is a story about this expedition to Antarctica where they discover some scary monster type things. It's very heavy-handed in its hinting of what's going to happen, and it's a classic, so I'm not particularly enjoying the writing style, but it's okay to listen to. I've been listening to it while I get ready and get myself going for the day, so I should be able to finish this easily, hopefully. The other audiobook that I have to finish today is The Queue by Basma Abdelaziz. So this is a book written by an Egyptian woman. I don't remember what it's about, but it's going to tick off my Africa continent because I haven't really explained this very well, but for Tome Infinity we're trying to read a book for every continent. So the 2 audiobooks would be Antarctica and Africa, and then I also still have 2 others to go. So for Oceania, I'm going to read Phoenix Rising, which was on my September TBR anyway. It's by Pip Valentine and T. Morris. Pip Valentine is from New Zealand, like me, and I've been meaning to read this for a while. I did read the first chapter last night, and one of the characters is from New Zealand, even though this is some kind of steampunk fantasy. Although, like, Tome Infinity is meant to be science fiction, but it's listed as science fiction on Goodreads. And steampunk is kind of science fiction, kind of fantasy, kind of halfway in between. Anyway, I get the feeling this book's going to be a lot of fun, so it's going to be my focus to finish this off today, as well as those audiobooks. And the one continent that I'll still be missing after that is South America, which I almost forgot about, which is pretty terrible. But I had a look at what other people from the Tome Infinity Readathon have been reading for South America, and I found Ice Cream Man Volume 1 Rainbow Sprinkles, which I saw Tia and All the Books read a little while ago, and she said it was really good. So I've started reading that. I'm reading it on my desktop computer, which is not ideal graphic novel reading, but I needed to get my hands on it as quickly as possible, and that's the quickest way. I read like the first chapter of it last night just to make sure that it was working, and I'm really liking it, so that's cool. So I guess today I'm trying to read 1 physical book, 2 audiobooks, 1 graphic novel on my computer. Is that achievable? I don't know. Also, just to give you some kind of like idea of what you can expect from the rest of the week, I'm gonna be trying to finally pick up Nevernight. So I'm really scared to read this because there's so much hype and I want to love it so much, so let's hope. And if I can finish this quickly enough, then I'm also going to try and pick up Neverworld Week, which was supposed to be in my September TBR. I don't see how I'm going to finish it in September, but I think I'm going to bounce it over to my October TBR just because I want to read it. I don't have too much else going on this week, although it is my sister's birthday, and in October I'm going to be trying to do PanoRimer. So in preparation for NaNoWriMo, I'm going to try and like do some outlining and some planning. So we'll try and find some time for that this week, and I guess we'll see what else happens. It really depends on the weather, because as I've mentioned, it's not so great around here at the moment. But anyway, I better get back to my reading, and I will check in a bit later and let you know how it's going. Hi, so quick update. I just washed my hair and I'm about to go out for a walk and a run and I don't know what. While I'm out, I will listen to my audiobook, so I've got about an hour left of At the Mountains of Madness. I have to say, this is quite boring. It reads a lot like a history text, except that there's these monsters and they're like telling the history of these creatures based on cave engravings. It doesn't seem very realistic and finding it hard to pay attention, but regardless, I've nearly finished it, and then I've got 6 hours of The Queue to listen to. So that's still quite a lot to get through today. Also, I still have another 150 pages of Phoenix Rising. This I'm a little bit disappointed in. It's trying really hard to like have clever banter, and yeah, it doesn't quite pull it off, which is a shame because I really want to like it. I also don't really like the New Zealand representation, which, I mean, it's written by a New Zealander, so I can't really complain, but yeah, not my favorite. Anyway, I will finish this tonight. Gosh, I hope I won't run out of time. I suspect I might do, but I'll do my best to finish everything off. Oh, I did also finish reading Ice Cream Man Volume 1. It was weird. I enjoyed it, but I kind of felt like I didn't understand it. It's like all these different horror stories that aren't really connected, except that there's this ice cream man featured in each story. And I liked each of the stories, but just when I got to the end, I was like, was there a bigger story there that I missed? But I don't think there is. So I enjoyed it. I really liked the art, but I really would like some more clarity about what's happening with this ice cream man. And I don't think I'm going to get it, but I will pick up the second volume at some point and we'll see. Anyway, I've got to leave because my sister will be waiting for me. I will let you know how much of my audiobooks I get through while I'm on my walk when I get back. Hi, so I just went for this really nice nighttime walk and it was really nice and peaceful, and while I was walking I finished off the queue as well as At the Mountains of Madness. At the Mountains of Madness, not really the writing style that I like. I guess I mostly don't like classics. I feel like at the time it was written, it was enough just to come up with some kind of cool science fiction-y scary creature, whereas now science fiction has progressed so far that it's not enough just to come up with a creature. You actually need to have a good story too. I also never really understood why they kept saying they wanted to keep it a secret, but they're only releasing it now to stop people from going into Antarctica. Like, why are you keeping it a secret? I never understood that. The queue was just really freaky. I need to think more about it, I think. It kind of is a really crazy look at how messed up things could be. Basically, this gate takes over governance and everybody starts queuing at this gate in order to get things approved. Then the gate closes down and everybody's just in this queue trying to get stuff done. But there's also this guy who's been shot and he's trying to get the bullet removed, but he has to wait in the queue to get permission, and it's a big drama, and it's all about like misinformation and political stuff and how everything can get quite messed up, and kind of makes me scared about how easily our civilization that kind of works could turn into something that really doesn't work. Anyway, I kind of liked it, I think. I did listen to it on 3 times speed, so I'm not sure how I felt about the pacing. It was quick, but if I'd listened to it at normal speed, maybe it wouldn't have been. Anyway, the queue. So now I've read 6 of the continents. I can't work out which books at the moment, but I've read 6 continents. The only book I have left to read is my Oceania one, and I have 150 pages left, and it's like 9:30ish. So at my reading speed, this is going to be a rush to get it finished in time. So I'm going to go now and do my best to finish it on time. Success noise. You're not even looking at me, but success. I have finished this and it is 11:50. So I finished with 10 minutes to spare. I don't know why I seem to always cut things so close. My goal for October is to not cut things this close. I want to be ahead of things in terms of reading. Anyway, just to quickly kind of review this, my feelings didn't really change. It was just cheesy and tried a bit too hard. And the relationship between the 2 main characters, I didn't really get into it. The main woman is like this really brash and undignified woman, likes to blow things up, and I didn't particularly enjoy her. And then the other guy is all this stuffy British guy. I think I can see what it was trying to do, but it didn't quite pull it off, in my opinion. Which is disappointing because I do really like some of the other books that Philippa Valentine has put out, but that series will not probably be my favorite, and it's a bit annoying because I did already buy the second book in the series, although only for $2, so I haven't lost out on that much money, and I guess I'll read the second book and we'll see if it improves. But for right now, I think I am gonna go to bed because it's nearly midnight and I'm tired after reading the whole day. I don't know why reading the whole day makes you so tired, but it definitely does. And I know I have a lot I want to do tomorrow, so I better get some sleep so I can actually do it. Hi, good morning. I did not get enough sleep at all, and I have to laugh at myself because after being like, oh, I'm so tired, I've been reading all day, I went to bed and I read the first chapter of Nevernight. I did manage to stop after one chapter, so at least I'm not completely ridiculous. I definitely remember a long time ago I tried to listen to this audiobook, but I remember I had this awful headache and I was really busy at work, and I tried to like start listening to it on my lunch break and my brain was just not having it. So that meant I didn't really enjoy it and I decided to stop. Actually, I will say, if you're looking for an audiobook that you can listen to when you've got a headache, that's the main reason I ended up listening to the Shiver series by Maggie Stiefvater, because I had a headache and it was the only audiobook narrator I could find that didn't make my headache worse. This audiobook, I probably wouldn't recommend it, especially if you've got a headache, but I think I'm going to like this a lot more. I'm only one chapter in, so I'm really just hoping that I'm going to love this a lot more, and I will try to get a bunch of this read today, although mostly today I will be filming and editing and doing all that booktube stuff. This is my booktube day, but I have a few other things I wanted to catch you up on. So audiobook wise, I'm listening to Fairest by Marissa Meyer, which is this short story about the villain in the Lunar Chronicles. It's been a while since I read the Lunar Chronicles, but I meant to read this for Tome. I ran out of time. It wouldn't have counted for a different country, so I'm going to listen to this and Stars Above now when it's October. Also, you'll notice, I don't know if you will notice, but for a long time I've had this phone case, like about 50 million years. It only cost me $2, but it started to fall apart, so you can see some bits are missing. So I got this new phone case and it's totally cute. Gets a little bit dirty sometimes, but my main requirement is that it needed to have ears and it needed to be not too bulky. So this meets that requirement. I did also get it in pink and red because I wasn't sure which color I'd like, and I got them all off AliExpress for like $2 each. I think I'm going to stick with the black, but I do also like these colors. I don't know. Life is very hard. So I've got a few things to read. Also, I did get something in the mail, and I'm pretty sure I know what it is, but I'll open it. I'm pretty sure this is for my sister's birthday, but this vlog won't be out until her birthday's done, and also I think I want to read it before I give it to her, just because that means she doesn't have to lend it to me afterwards, and also as she reads it she can talk to me about it because I'll have already read it. It's just a nice thing to do, is to read books before you give them to people. I've totally ruined this, so I can't even get it open. I'm so bad at book depository packages. I don't know how I did this. So, we have the third volume of the Umbrella Academy graphic novel series. My sister is a big My Chemical Romance fan. So am I. And I really enjoyed the first two volumes. Probably the first one more than the second one. I love the Netflix show. This seems a bit thicker than the other ones. I'm really hoping that Gerard Way will have learnt a lot from his involvement in the Netflix show, and that this story will be even better than the first two volumes. Yes, I will definitely be needing to try and read this week. My sister's birthday is on Saturday, so I've got a few days. Anyway, I really need to go and film and sort out my life. So I will catch up later. Hi, so it's Thursday now. I just woke up from a nap, which is honestly exactly what I needed. So I thought I'd better update you on some reading stuff. I did read The Girl from the Other Side the other day. It was really adorable and cute and creepy, and my only problem with it is that it finished too quickly, and so I think I'm going to need to sort out getting some more books from the series to read it. It didn't take long to read, but it's just exactly what you'd expect from the cover. Big scary guy looking after this little girl. Some kind of curse going on. The little girl is adorable. I'm really glad that I've read that. I did also read Hotel Oblivion, the third volume in the Umbrella Academy. So this is kind of what I expected, unfortunately. I was really hoping it would be amazing, but I think the concepts in here are really cool, and I bet Netflix does an amazing job with it. We've got this hotel where all these different criminals that the Umbrella Academy have caught over the years have been trapped in, and then they escape. But unfortunately, overall, just the way that the story is told is so fragmented. We're jumping between all sorts of different characters. A lot of the characters are not very well established, so you're not really sure who they are or what their powers are. So I think the ideas are solid, but just the execution could be better. But anyway, now I can wrap this up for my sister. So happy birthday, Danielle. Here's a book that I didn't really like. Also, as far as Nevernight goes, I think I'm about 165 pages in, so not quite halfway. I am actually really enjoying it. I really like the world that's been created, and I quite like Mia, although I think probably contrary to what everyone else thinks, we've just got into like the assassin school, and I think I like the school less than I liked just Mia out in the world. I do also think the way that it skips between different timelines and the way that there's the footnotes does mean sometimes it doesn't flow as well, although I suspect there might be less of that through the book, so we'll see. I do want to try and spend some more time on this tonight and try and get a decent amount through it before the weekend. I am kind of hoping it'll be sunny this weekend so we can do something nice, but again, we'll see what happens. You will see some of my books on my bookshelf are now turned around. I watched this video by Brews and Reviews and also Cats and Cameras, and they'd done this thing where they turn around all the books that they haven't read, or that they've read, but I did books that I haven't read. I turned them all around so I could get an overall view of how many of the books on my shelves I've read. It's not that bad. Like, I think overall I've got about 70 books unread and about 120 read. So read books are winning, at least. Anyway, I think this is going to be the precursor to me just rearranging my bookshelves, because even though I love the look of the rainbow bookshelves, they just annoy me with how hard it is to find things, and I do actually prefer to have read and unread books separated so that all my unread books are together and I can find them easily. Makes it a lot easier for my TBR machine videos because I know what I can choose from. Also, I did start on my NaNoWriMo plans. That's what all these post-it notes up here on my wardrobe are about. Basically, each post-it note color is a different character, and then I kind of got the timeline along there and the things each character's doing. This is a story I've worked on a bit before, but I want to try and actually get a draft that I might want to share with people and even let people read, maybe. So I'm going to keep working on the big picture, looking at things in different ways, and then when I feel like I've got the big picture solid, I'll move it into Scrivener and work on the details. I do also, on my whiteboard in my hallway, have a map because I worked out I need to understand the geography a bit to understand the motivations of some characters. And honestly, it looks like crazy scribblings, but at least I'm making some progress on understanding the world. Oh, so also we have Fairest. I've been listening to the audiobook and I've got about an hour left. To be honest, I don't think it's as good as the rest of the Lunar Chronicles. What was so great about the Lunar Chronicles is how clever it was with reframing the fairy tales into a science fiction type world. This is just some insecure woman focusing on her insecurities and ruining everything because of it, which, I mean, I guess is a good lesson, but the main character doesn't learn that lesson, so I'm not sure that that's what it's trying to say. Kind of just explains how she is a villain and she deserved everything that she got in the end. Anyway, I should really go and actually do some reading, maybe some housework, and then I will see you guys later. So it's actually not Sunday at all, even though I think I just labeled this section Sunday. It's actually Monday morning. I don't know what happened. No, I do know what happened. So on Friday, we went for this really lovely walk. The weather was nice. We went to this lookout at the top of Whangaparaoa Peninsula, and it was a beautiful view, and we found that gannet colony, and it was just a lovely day. Didn't get any reading done, of course. Then on Saturday, it was my sister's birthday, so we just spent the day eating junk food, watching movies, playing games. It was a good time. I did get a tiny bit of reading done that day, but not really anything significant. Then Sunday, I finally caught up on my reading. So I did finish, finally, Nevernight. I did read, I think, about the second half on Sunday. I just blasted through it. I really enjoyed it. I do think the school was quite like Hogwarts for people who like murder, which was a little bit strange because there was so much dark stuff going on. It kind of quite a weird contrast with the school setting. The school was both like a really scary place but also very childlike, so I can see with the school bit why people might be mislabeling this as YA quite often, because that school setting I felt did feel quite YA, even though there's murder and death and all that going on. Like, there's nothing telling you can't have murder and death in YA, but there are other things in the story that maybe are a bit more adult. And of course, I still need to read the rest of the series. I definitely preferred the stuff out of the school, especially the ending I really loved. And I'm definitely in denial about the status of certain characters. I love some of the things that were revealed though, so I'm super excited. I've put a request to get God's Grave from the library, and I think that's going to come really soon, so I'm excited to read that, although I probably won't get to it till next month because since this took me all week to read, I'm behind on my reading again. I think I really need to change that page goal that I'm setting for every month, because even though mathematically I think it's realistic, I don't think it's actually realistic. And so I'm just setting myself to fail every month, which seems like a bad idea for my mental health. Anyway, I did really love this book, so I'm glad because it's going to give me an excuse to buy books with these beautiful covers. I just love these pictures. They're so nice. Especially Dark Dawn with the cat. And Mr. Kindly is definitely my favorite character of the whole series. I want my own Mr. Kindly. I will say, like, I just think if people had told me earlier that Mia has shadow magic and this shadow cat is related to that, then I would have been convinced to read this book a lot sooner. So if you're intrigued by the idea of shadow magic, there's some of that in this. Not that much though, so you might not want to go into this book purely for that, but it's cool. Then also audiobooks, what I've realized is, I think last time I talked to you, I said I had about an hour left of Fairest, but I didn't really. It turns out the last hour was actually a preview of Winter, which I've already read, so I didn't need to listen to that, and I really only had like 3 sentences left to read of it, so all my thoughts from what I said last still stand, because nothing happened after that. Then I did start listening to A Stars Above, which is like a short story bind-up in that same Lunar Chronicles world. But then it decided it was going to return itself to the library, and I was running out of time, and so I just let it return itself, and I've put a hold on it to get it out again. I think that from what I read so far, the stories are just like filling in the backstories, and they're not really good stories in and of themselves. Like sometimes when people release supplemental short stories around a bigger series, the stories are really good stories. These ones, like, it's interesting to have the backstory filled in, but it's not super interesting. So then I started listening to Oversea and Under Stone by Susan Cooper, which Gemma from A Story and a Song had recommended to me. And honestly, I had no idea going into this what it was like, because all I knew was that Gemma had recommended it to me. It's a little bit like Narnia and the later Wrinkle in Time books mixed together. Basically, a bunch of children going on this seaside holiday, and then they find a map, and there's this whole fight between good and evil going on. I'm not that far in, so I will continue that in the upcoming week, which is actually happening right now because it's Monday already, because who knows? I've lost track of my life. However, I did get a really good sleep last night, so hopefully next week I'm going to focus on making sure I get enough sleep every day, and then every day can be better. Honestly, sleep is so important. I used to think sleep is for the weak, but I have completely flipped my idea on that now. I think sleep makes you strong. Anyway, I am supposed to have already gotten this video up while I'm filming this, so I will go edit this, put it up, and then you will be listening to this maybe sometime soon. I mean, you can listen to this whenever you want. Maybe you're listening to this 10 years from now. Who knows? Regardless, it's been nice hanging out with you for the last little bit. I hope that you had a really good reading week, and I will see you soon.